I always thought we had it all figured out, me and him, together against the world. When I met him, I swear I saw forever in his eyes. He was kind, funny, and steady, the kind of man you never worry about losing. "Dinner's almost ready," he'd say with that smile that made my heart skip. "Just give me 5 more minutes." Those 5 minutes became 30, sometimes an hour. I caught myself waiting by the stove, forcing a smile, telling myself it was just work stress. "Long day?" I'd ask, pretending not to notice the way he'd glance at his phone the second it buzzed. "Yeah, busy," he'd reply, but the warmth was gone, replaced by distracted silence. At first I blamed the late nights on his promotion. "He's under pressure," I whispered to myself. "It'll pass." But then the whispers in my mind grew louder. Why was he so secretive with his phone? Why did he suddenly close his laptop when I came near? "Hey, is everything okay?" I asked one evening, watching him scroll through messages with furrowed brows. "Yeah, I'm fine," he said quickly, then changed the subject. I wanted to believe him. I needed to believe him. But that gnawing feeling wouldn't leave me alone. One night when he fell asleep early, I saw his phone light up on the nightstand. Curiosity won over. My fingers trembled as I picked it up, heart hammering against my ribs. There it was. A text from an unknown number. "Can't wait to see you tonight." I blinked, staring at the screen, trying to make sense of it. Maybe it was a mistake. A wrong number? I searched his contacts. No name matched. My breath caught. I scrolled through his messages, piecing together secrets I never wanted to find. "Did you forget our anniversary?" One message read. Another said, "I'm tired of waiting." The man I loved was slipping through my fingers, replaced by someone I didn't know. The next morning I confronted him, my voice barely steady. "Who is this?" I asked, holding up the phone. He looked up, eyes wide, then quickly masked his surprise with a tired sigh. "It's nothing. Just work stuff." "Work? With a woman texting you like that?" His jaw tightened. "You're overthinking." But the hurt in my chest was real. The trust I'd built over years was crumbling. I wanted to scream, to break down, but I swallowed the pain. "I just want the truth," I whispered. He avoided my gaze. "You'll never understand." Days passed, and the silence between us grew, heavier than any argument. I caught myself watching him from across the room, searching for clues in his distracted face. One night, I tried again. "Tell me what's going on." He looked at me, tired and worn, and said, "I'm doing this for us." "For us?" I repeated, disbelief choking me. "By lying?" He shook his head. "You don't know what I'm dealing with." But I did know. Something was wrong, and it wasn't just work. I didn't want to admit it, but the seed of betrayal had been planted. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, trying to hold on to the man I thought I knew, but deep down, I feared I was losing him to someone else. And I wasn't sure if I'd ever get him back. I wasn't supposed to be looking through his things. I told myself that 100 times. But the weight of doubt pressed so hard on my chest that I couldn't breathe without needing answers. "Just one more look," I whispered, fingering the crumpled hotel receipt I found hidden behind his wallet. My hands shook as I stared at the name of a place I'd never heard of. Why hide it? Why lie? I dialed his number without thinking. "Hey," he said, smooth as always. "Where were you last night?" I asked, voice barely steady. "Out with clients. You know how it is." His charm was so practiced, I almost wanted to believe him. "Clients don't stay at hotels," I shot back. "Business meetings. Sometimes they go late," he said, deflecting. I swallowed the lump in my throat, forcing myself to keep going. "Then what about these messages?" "I miss you. Can't wait to see you again." "Who's this?" Silence. Then, "You're reading something that's not yours." "I'm reading the truth." My voice cracked. "No, you're choosing to see what you want." His tone was colder now. "I trusted you," I hissed. "Was it all lies?" He sighed, frustrated. "Why do you have to make this so hard?" I wanted to scream. Because you made it hard. You lied, hid things. How am I supposed to trust you now? Maybe you never really did. His words stabbed me deeper than I thought possible. I collapsed, onto the couch, hot tears spilling. I hated myself for crying, hated him for causing it. My phone buzzed. It was Sarah, my best friend. "Are you okay?" Her text read. I typed back, "No. I found stuff. I don't know what to do." "Come over," she replied instantly. "We'll figure this out." I grabbed my coat and left before I could change my mind. At Sarah's, the warmth was a stark contrast to the cold storm inside me. "I can't believe he did this," I said, voice shaky. Sarah took my hands. "You deserve better. You know that, right?" "I do. But what if I'm overreacting? What if I'm just paranoid?" "No, you're not." She looked me in the eyes. "This isn't you. He's the one who betrayed your trust." "But what if he's right? What if I'm tearing apart something salvageable?" "You're not tearing anything apart. He's already done that." Her words hit like a punch. "Have you thought about leaving?" she asked gently. I shook my head. "I want answers first. I can't just walk away." "Sometimes answers don't come until you let go." Her honesty was painful but necessary. That night, I confronted him again. "I want the truth. No more lies." He laughed bitterly. "You think I'm some villain in your story? Life isn't that simple." "It is for me," I said, tears threatening again. "You want the truth? Fine." He leaned in, voice low. "I'm tired. I'm trapped in this life and I made mistakes. But I'm still your husband." "Then prove it," I yelled. "Stop hiding. Stop lying." He looked away, defeated. "You don't get to dictate how I fix this." I felt my heart break all over again. Days passed in a blur of sleepless nights and bitter arguments. One morning, I found him packing a bag. "Where are you going?" I asked. "Away. For a while. To clear my head." I wanted to stop him, to beg him to stay. But I couldn't find the words. "Don't expect me to wait," I said quietly. He paused, then left, without looking back. I sank to the floor, surrounded by silence and questions with no answers. I thought about Sarah's words. Maybe I needed to let go to find peace. But the part of me that loved him still whispered to hold on. I was caught between rage and hope, pain and denial, and I didn't know which path to take. I wasn't expecting anyone that afternoon, least of all his manager standing on our doorstep like a storm ready to break. "Are you him?" she asked, eyes sharp as knives. He stepped forward, trying to smile, but it faltered the second she looked past him, straight at me. "I'm Lisa," she said, crossing her arms. "I thought I'd drop by. We need to talk." I blinked. "Talk? Here?" He cleared his throat, looking embarrassed. "Lisa, this isn't really the time—" "Actually, it's perfect," she interrupted, voice cold. "I've been wanting to see you. Both of you." I felt a knot twist in my stomach. What was coming? Lisa didn't waste time. "You, John, are a joke," I gasped. "What?" He flushed, eyes darting between us. "Yeah, a joke," Lisa continued, her gaze fierce. "You think hiding behind lies makes you clever? Manipulating everyone around you? It's pathetic." John's jaw clenched. "Lisa, please. This isn't personal." "Oh, but it is," she snapped. "Because I have to clean up your messes. Your affairs, your empty promises, your failures at work." I stared at him, shock burning through me. The man I defended, the one I wanted to believe in, looked smaller than ever. "Failures?" I echoed, voice trembling. Lisa nodded, eyes hard. "Missed deadlines, botched projects, broken trust, and the company's reputation? Tanked because of you." John's face went pale. "That's not true." "Isn't it?" Lisa stepped closer. "You sleep with your assistant, then blame everyone else for your screw-ups. You think I don't know?" He opened his mouth, closed it again. I couldn't hold back. Why didn't you tell me any of this? Because he didn't want you to know, Lisa said flatly. He wanted to keep up appearances. John looked at me, desperation flashing in his eyes. It's complicated. Complicated? I laughed bitterly. You made a mess, and now you expect sympathy? Lisa's gaze softened slightly, but only for a moment. You deserve better, trust me. I looked at John, then back at Lisa. How long has this been going on? Lisa hesitated. Longer than you think. John's voice cracked. I never meant for it to go this far. Well, it did, Lisa said. And now you're paying for it. I swallowed the lump in my throat. And what about me? What am I supposed to do? Lisa shrugged. That's your choice. John suddenly lost his composure. Please, don't listen to her. I'm sorry. I'll fix this. Fix it? Lisa spat. You're beyond fixing. I felt tears burn behind my eyes, but anger pushed them back. I won't be your fool anymore, I said, voice steady. John's shoulders slumped. You don't understand. I understand more than you think, I replied. Lisa nodded approvingly. Good. Maybe now you'll see what he really is. John looked like he wanted to say more, but Lisa cut him off. I'm done cleaning after you. She turned to me. If you want someone who will actually stand by you, call me. Before I could respond, she was gone. The door clicked shut, leaving silence that felt deafening. John stood frozen, guilt written all over his face. I faced him, heart pounding. Why didn't you tell me any of this? I asked quietly. He shook his head. I was scared. Scared of losing you. Well, you lost me anyway, I said. He reached out, but I stepped back. Don't, I warned. I'm sorry, he whispered. I nodded, tears spilling over. Sorry isn't enough. For the first time, I saw him as he truly was. Broken, exposed, powerless. And for the first time, I wasn't sure if I could forgive him. I never thought it would be her. I found her name buried deep in his messages. Maya. A colleague, someone I used to call a friend. When I heard her name, my chest tightened. How long had she been lying to me? Smiling in my face while sneaking behind my back, I texted her, hands trembling. We need to talk. Her reply came almost immediately. Sure. What's this about? I forced myself to meet her at a quiet cafe, heart pounding. She arrived late, calm and composed, like I was the one causing a fuss. Hi, I said, trying to steady my voice. Why did you do it? Why him? Maya shrugged, sipping her coffee. Do what? You know exactly what I mean, the affair. She smirked. Oh, that. Look, I'm not proud, but it's not my fault he came to me. Not your fault. You're the other woman, I hissed. Please, don't act like you're innocent. You married a liar. I clenched my fists. That doesn't make it right. Maybe not, but it's reality. I didn't steal him from you. He chose me. Her indifference cut deeper than I expected. Did you ever think about me? About what this would do? I asked, voice cracking. She laughed softly. You think I care? We all make choices. I shook my head, tears blurring my vision. I thought I knew you. Maya leaned forward, eyes cold. You didn't. You never did. Walking away, I felt hollow. The betrayal wasn't just his, it was hers too. Back home, John was distant, avoiding my questions. Are you seeing her? I demanded one night. He avoided my gaze. It's complicated. Complicated? I repeated bitterly. How can you make this so easy for yourself and torture me? I'm sorry, he whispered, voice barely audible. I wanted to hate him, but part of me still ached for the man I loved. I found myself spiraling, jealousy clawing at my insides, anger boiling over, confusion consuming me. Why her? I muttered one night, pacing the room. Was I just a fool? Blind to the cracks in our marriage? I thought about Maya's words. He chose her? But why? Was I not enough? I caught myself replaying every moment, searching for signs I missed. Was I too trusting, too naive? I asked the empty room. My best friend Sarah noticed the change. "You can't live like this," she said gently. "You're destroying yourself." "I just want answers," I replied. "I can't let go." She took my hand. Sometimes answers don't heal. They hurt. At work I saw Maya from afar, laughing with colleagues, unaware of the storm she caused. I hated her and pitied her all at once. One afternoon I confronted John again. "Why did you let this happen?" I asked, voice shaking. He sighed. "I didn't plan it. Things just happened." "Don't lie to me." "I'm sorry," he repeated. But sorry wasn't enough. I realized I was stuck in a web of betrayal, unable to untangle myself. Every day was a battle between hatred and empathy, rage and sorrow. I didn't know how to move forward. I couldn't keep pretending anymore. At the family gathering, with all eyes on me, the weight of lies crushed me. "John," I said, voice trembling, but loud enough, "how many lies have you told us?" A hush fell. His eyes widened, trying to find an escape. "Don't," I warned. "Not now." My uncle leaned in. "What's going on, Sarah?" I swallowed, anger rising. "You want to know? My husband's been cheating on me." Gasps echoed around the room. John's face went pale. "That's not true." "Isn't it?" I shot back. "We all know about the texts, the hotel receipts, the betrayal." My aunt covered her mouth, whispering. "Is this really happening?" I looked at John, fury burning. "How could you? In front of everyone?" He stammered. I made mistakes." "Mistakes?" I repeated. "You destroyed everything." My cousin whispered to her mother, "I never thought he'd do that." The family divided before my eyes, some in shock, others in judgment. Later Sarah found me sitting alone. "You did what you had to," she said softly. "I feel like I lost everything," I confessed. She squeezed my hand. "You're starting to find yourself." That week, I began therapy. "My name's Dr. Reynolds," she said at our first session. "Tell me what brought you here." I took a deep breath. "I'm shattered, betrayed. I don't know who I am anymore." She nodded. "Healing takes time. We'll work through the pain. I wasn't sure I wanted to heal, but I had to try." At home, John barely spoke. One night I asked, "Do you regret it?" His silence was answer enough. "I don't know if I can forgive you," I whispered. "You don't have to," he said, voice low. Friends and family kept whispering behind my back. "Poor Sarah," my neighbor said. "She deserves better." But the whispers felt like daggers. I confronted John again. "Do you think people will ever trust you again?" He shook his head. "I don't know." I looked at him, feeling both pity and disgust. "How do you live with yourself?" "I don't," he admitted. The war inside me raged between fury and sorrow, revenge and forgiveness. Sarah helped me plan my next steps. "Focus on you," she said, "not him." But I was still lost in the storm, searching for peace. "I can't believe how far you've come," Dr. Reynolds said, smiling as I sat across from her. "Me neither," I admitted, tracing the rim of my coffee cup. "Some days, I still wake up feeling broken." "That's normal," she assured me. "Healing isn't linear." I nodded, thinking about the past months, how I'd fought to piece myself back together. "Have you thought about what you want next?" she asked. I hesitated. "I want control, not over him, but over me." "Good," she said. "That's the right focus." Later that day, I met Sarah at our favorite cafe. "I'm done being a victim," I declared, voice steady. Sarah grinned. "That's my girl." "I'm starting to plan," I confessed. "Not to hurt him physically, but to expose the truth. to reclaim my life. Smart, she said. Use your strength, not anger. I felt a quiet fire ignite inside me. At home, I found his old wedding ring tucked away. Holding it, memories flooded back. Promises, laughter, love. I looked at it one last time and dropped it into the trash. No more chains, I whispered. Days turned into weeks. I focused on work, pouring myself into projects I'd neglected. My colleagues noticed the change. You're glowing, one said. Feels like I'm finally breathing, I replied. Sarah and I spent evenings planning, organizing evidence, gathering, texts, receipts, and photos. Once we have enough, we'll make sure everyone knows, she said. I smiled. Justice without violence. One night, I stared at my reflection. Who are you now? I asked myself. A woman stronger, wiser, scarred but unbroken. I wrote in my journal, this is my story, my power. When John called, I didn't answer. Instead, I sent a message. It's over. The silence that followed was peace. I was no longer the broken wife. I was my own person. I heard the rumors first, whispers in the office, sideways glances when John showed up late or not at all. Did you hear about Maya? My coworker asked one day, voice low. What about her? I replied, heart tightening. She left him. After the scandal. Apparently, she's involved with someone else now. I sat frozen, a strange mix of relief and bitterness swirling inside me. Later that evening, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Sarah here. You need to see this. A video popped up. Maya caught in a compromising situation. Public and undeniable. Stared. Numb. That night, John came home, shoulders slumped, eyes empty. We need to talk, I said, voice cold. He avoided my gaze. I'm sorry. Everything's falling apart. Good, I whispered. Maybe now you'll understand. Days later, the manager showed up again. Lisa, with that same sharp smirk. Well, well, she said, eyeing John. Looks like the truth's catching up. John looked beaten, silent. Lisa turned to me. You okay? I am now, I said, steady. She nodded approvingly. He had it coming. John finally spoke, voice weak. Can we fix this? I shook my head. No, this is where I take control. Lisa smiled. Good choice. I thought about my next move. Public exposure. Or personal peace. Justice, I said aloud. But on my terms. John looked up, confused. You won't break me anymore. As karma played its hand, I found strength in silence and strategy. I sat at the kitchen table, pen in hand, heart pounding as I stared at the blank page before me. Where do I even start? I whispered to myself. The house was quiet, the kind of silence that pressed on your soul. I thought about everything. Love, lies, betrayal. The memories and the scars tangled inside me. My phone buzzed, a message from Sarah. Are you okay? I typed back, almost. Then I began to write. John, I don't know if you'll ever read this or if you should. I want to say I forgive you, but I'm not sure I can. You broke more than my trust. You shattered my world. I lost myself in the pain you caused, but I found strength in the ashes. I loved you deeply, maybe too deeply. Now I'm learning to love me more. This letter isn't about anger anymore. It's about letting go. I'm choosing peace, with or without you. Goodbye. I folded the letter carefully and placed it inside an envelope. I looked at the old anniversary gift he gave me, a necklace I barely wore. I opened the box, stared at it, then dropped it into the trash. No more reminders, I said softly. The next day, Lisa called. How are you holding up? She asked. Better, I replied. She chuckled. You're stronger than I thought. I have to be, I said. Later, Sarah and I talked about the future. What now? She asked. I smiled faintly. Now I live for me. She nodded. That's all that matters. That night, alone, I whispered, I'm free. The pain remains, but so does the strength. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I'm ready.